Welcome to Talking Climate with Katherine Hayhoe. Each episode, we explore how climate change is affecting the people, places, and things we love, and what we can do to make a difference. From science to solutions and stories that inspire, you're in the right place for real talk about real change. Let's dive in. Good news. The International Court of Justice, ICJ, issued a landmark opinion last week, stating that countries have a legal duty to protect people and ecosystems from the urgent and existential threat posed by climate change. It's true that the ruling is an advisory opinion with no legal mechanism for enforcement. However, it represents important precedent that will have weight in other courts as litigation continues. For example, it means that the countries most impacted by rising temperatures, typically poorer countries who've contributed least to the problem in the first place, may be entitled to reparations from the world's top emitters. Flora Vano, the Vanuatu country manager for the nonprofit ActionAid, says this ruling is a powerful tool we can use to demand that those most responsible for this climate crisis be held accountable. As the planet's weather becomes more chaotic, this ruling paves the way for the protections and reparations we desperately need to rebuild our lives and secure a just future. The litigation was dreamed up by law students from the Pacific Island nation of Tonga in 2019. One of those students, Siosha Vaikane, was at ICJ in The Hague this week to hear the opinion, telling the BBC, "I'm lost for words. This is so exciting. This is a win we take proudly back home to our communities." And I agree. This ruling is yet more proof that ordinary people, when they use their voices, can change the world. Not so good news. Last week, I shared how climate change is melting the glaciers and impacting the water supply in Alberta. On the other side of the world, Kashmir, known for its glaciers, cool temperatures, and breathtaking views of the Himalayas, is experiencing similar impacts. This month, they saw the mercury rise to 37 degrees Celsius. That's 99 degrees Fahrenheit, the hottest it has been in Srinagar in more than 70 years. The region remains in the grip of a strong heat wave, which is wilting crops, sending people to the hospital with heat stroke, and leading officials to shutter schools and universities. Farmers are paying the price for this changing climate. Zaina Begum told the BBC that her paddy crop, which she grows with her family on 1 acre of land, has not produced a good harvest for 5 years due to changing weather patterns and erratic rainfall. She said, "This summer it feels like our worst fears have come true. We have nothing left." Climate change also delayed winter snowfall last year, leaving the mountains looking bald and brown and many rivers low or even dry. Glaciers are also melting in Kashmir more quickly than in the past. Mohammed Farouk Azam, a glaciologist and hydrologist, says these trends are not just seasonal anomalies. They represent a systemic shift that could have long-term consequences for water security, agriculture, and biodiversity in Kashmir. Just like Tonga and Vanuatu, Kashmir is another region that has emitted little carbon historically, yet is disproportionately experiencing climate impacts. What you can do. Solving climate change will require innovation. Around the world, a new wave of startups is developing new technologies to decarbonize buildings, clean up agriculture, electrify transportation, and protect communities from climate risk. These companies need more than just investors. They need visibility, volunteers, test sites, and community partners to scale their solutions. You can help. Look into local green business accelerators, university sustainability labs, or youth-led climate tech ventures in your area. Offer your support. Amplify them on social media. Donate through a crowdfunding site, or connect them with someone in your network. If you have technical, legal, business, or design skills, many welcome mentorship or pro bono consulting, especially in the early stages. Even introducing them to a local library, church, or school that might pilot a solution can make a real difference. Not sure where to start? Elemental Accelerator supports community-focused climate tech across the U.S. and Asia-Pacific. Third Derivative is a global accelerator connecting climate startups with investors and partners. Clean Tech Open runs competitions and training for early-stage startups across North America. For Europe, EIT Climate KIC supports innovation hubs and ventures across the continent. By helping local innovators succeed, you're not just cheering from the sidelines. You're accelerating the technologies that can get us to net zero faster. Thanks for listening to Talking Climate, narrated by Ann Cloud. For more resources, links, and actions you can take, check out the full newsletter at www.talkingclimate.ca. Keep talking, keep connecting, and keep making climate part of the conversation.